What's up, guys and ghouls? Welcome back to Living Dead Garage. Today I'm joined by my friend Jeff here, and we're going to try and get this 82 Trans Am back on the road after 30 years. Morning, guys and ghouls. Today I'm heading over to my buddy Jeff's house. We're going to try and do our first revive and drive on a 82 Trans Am that's been sitting for approximately 30 years. I'm going to load up my Camaro here with a bunch of tools and head over there. Just so happens to be about 40 degrees out, and I thought it'd be a good idea to take the only vehicle that doesn't have heat. But it's got a huge lumpy cam in it, so I don't really care. Alright, let's get this thing loaded up and we'll get heading over to Jeff's. Alright, this is my 79 Camaro. I actually purchased this from Jeff a few years ago. Found it for sale on the side of the road for $1,000 best offer. I showed it to Jeff and he said, yep, might as well call it mine. Went there, offered him $900. He said, yep. And it was actually our first revive and drive. It had a Chevy 305 small block, had a terrible knock. And you could tell by the passenger wheel well on the other side, just coated in rubber. So somebody just put her in first gear, pinned the ears back, and just went until the engine said, no, no more. Fast forward, we pulled the engine out, and then Jeff ended up getting his, at the time, girlfriend pregnant, and project went on hold. So it sat in my backyard for a few years until finally he needed rent money, and I said, yep, I'll buy it, and sat by me for a while. I tinkered with it in my spare time, and years ago I built this small block 350. It's got a big old cam in it, intake, Edelbrock, carburetor, headers, exhaust. I got a really nice serpentine belt set up on there. Really like those. I think I got it from CFM, Belts and Pulleys or something on Amazon. I can't remember. Wasn't the cheapest, but it looks really nice. Some MSD ignition box, you know, pretty standard, nothing too special. It's, don't know what horsepower it's pushing, but all I know is it sounds good and it's fun to drive. Just gonna knock the key forward, get some fuel pressure going, and we can fire this beast up. And you can hear that fuel pump just humming down there. Yeah, we got fuel pressure. Give her a couple squirts. Here we go. Oh. A little cold-blooded. Most cammed engines are with a carburetor. There we go. Man, I love the way this thing sounds. She ain't the prettiest, but she's rowdy. That's all we care about. Alright, nice and warmed up. We're all packed up. See how she does. The furthest I've ever drove it, so. I think we got a little tire rubbage. A little bit of weight in the back. Oh, you just touch the throttle and this thing just wants to go. Actually rides pretty nice. Got brand new shocks in the front, but the backs are probably original for all I know. Temp's good, oil pressure's great, about 50 psi. Well, that was short-lived. Lost the fuel pump. I'm gonna do a little investigation and see what the hell's that all about. I don't know what that was about, but shut her down for 2 minutes, checked everything over, and now we got fuel pressure again. Fuel pump does not sound good, but I'm going to try and lift it to Jeff's house. So far so good. I'd really like to switch over to EFI on this unit. Kind of just got it rigged up with a Holly Race electrical pump. I don't know if I don't have the return set up right or what, but the pump did not sound happy. We're not far away, probably only live about 5 miles from Jeff, so. Her a little bit here. Oh. Ah, I think I lost it again. Damn it. Cooling fans are on. The fuel pump is not. Yep. I think she might be dead. Man. That's a bummer. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to call Jeff and have him come rescue me. We'll be back shortly. Alright, we made it to Firebird Ranch here. A little bit of a hiccup with the fuel pump. Not sure what that was about, but we'll worry about that when we need to drive it again. Here's Jeff's ride. Kind of wish we were working on this thing today, but that's the one we're after today. Alright, so story behind this car. My buddy Jeff used to work at a local scrapyard, and they had this thing in inventory. One day they messaged him a few pictures and asked if he was interested in any parts, and we went and looked at it, and it's actually in really solid shape despite how it looks. So we decided to buy the whole thing. Got it for an easy $1,000. Not too bad. There's no title, but there's definitely enough parts here to make our money back. Now, it was last registered in '95, according to the registration in the glove box. Right here is probably the worst part of the car as far as rust. A little bit of a whiskey dent here that somebody very poorly tried to repair themselves. I'm assuming that's why it was parked and forgotten about. Might need a windshield too. This is the Trans Am trim, fully loaded, electric seats, windows, locks, all the whistles and bells. The one thing that caught my eye was these louvers. I've always loved these. If we don't end up getting it running, we'll probably throw them on Jeff's Firebird. It's not a T-top model, but old school trick. You let them sit outside long enough, they kind of make their own T-tops. So here you go, money saver. We got some extra speakers here. Bunch of different trim parts. Cannot get the trunk open, but there's nothing back there as far as we can see.
Kind of want these electric seats.
Yeah, definitely going to save the seats if we cannot get this thing back on the road. Dash is horrible condition as expected after sitting in the sun. Door cards are pretty decent. A little faded on top, but you'll have that. Seats are faded, but a little bit of splitting here and there. It's an automatic, womp womp, but it's got the upgraded radio, so that kind of cancels that out.
Some aftermarket wires plugged into the fuse box here. Some makeshift stuff. Oh, probably for whatever this is.
Oh yeah. Oh, not sure.
Surprises.
So this is the, fortunately or unfortunately, it is the Crossfire Injection, and that's GM's early attempt at fuel injection. A lot of people hate on it, but others will say it's very reliable as long as you know how to maintain them and work on them. So we're going to try our hand at it. We're typically carburetor guys, but we're not afraid of anything, so we'll take it on. Well, I think first thing we're going to do is pull this out into the sun onto some gravel here, so if we have to jack it up, we don't sink into the earth. Pull the hood off, clean out the engine bay. Speaking of, here's the crime scene. As you can see, there's 52 pounds of rust, which unfortunately came from the hood, as you can see. But it does have the little flapper air induction setup, which is really neat in my opinion. There's the Crossfire Injection. There's probably 3, maybe 4 mouse houses underneath that. Not counting that one. But it looks virtually unmolested. It still has all the AC. It even has the smog pump in there. Has brake fluid in it. But we'll get more into that later. We'll pull this hood off because those actuators are blown out like usual. Alright, we got the old Big Red here as our tow rig today.
Let's see how that pulls.
Pull good enough. Hopefully his wheels aren't locked up.
Oh, it came out. Assistance. I need help.
Go ahead. Let me sit on the back once.
That's a better look.
Yeah. Now we can see a little better of the mess that we're dealing with here. I think the biggest issue we're going to have with this is a fuel pump, but we're going to have our fingers crossed extra that that's not the case, because we're not going to cut the access port in the back like the hacks do. We're going to do it the right way and drop the tank. How are we looking here?
Oh, it's still green.
So I'm full. We're making money already.
How many miles are on this?
Oh yeah, that's right. This is actually a very low mile car, believe it or not. Where are we at here? 79,078 miles. You can believe it or you can't, but it's right there. Another big reason why we picked this car up, because it's very low miles. The top looks pretty rough for the wear, but underneath is very solid. No holes in the floor that we can see. The whole stock exhaust is still there.
Wiper motor is unplugged.
Uh-oh. We're definitely going to need those wipers.
Yeah, we got some mouse chewing here.
Oh.
A little bit there.
You know, mice, they like them spicy spaghettis. We'll have to address that. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more vacuum line there chewed to hell. Oh.
Okay.
Now we're over budget. But I think
get a trash can?
We're going to get a trash can, not wear a mask or gloves because, let's face it, we're not wimps around here. Oh wow.
Nice.
Well, that is a very good sign. I was anticipating those being all corroded and seized. Some Fram filters. That's how you know it'll run. Oh wow. I was expecting a lot of mouse house in there.
Got a smaller nozzle for this.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That's what she said.
Good enough.
Wow, I'm very encouraged to see this. I thought this was just going to be an absolute nightmare of corrosion and rust, but I think it's just the linkage that's seized up. What do you think?
I think so.
Give her a little tss of motivation juice and maybe we'll get her freed up.
Well, first vacuum leak.
Yep. Vacuum
you
leak.
didn't bring plugs, did you?
Nope. Vacuum leak 1 of 58 found and noted.
That's been off before. It's a little twisted.
Oh yeah. Well, if it's been off, we know it comes off, right?
Maybe. Or they gave up on it.
Yeah.
There's another vacuum leak.
Yep. Add it to the list.
Man, you should have brought the plugs.
I know. I didn't even think of it. There's probably
Another vacuum leak.
a lot of stuff that I forgot. Well, why don't you just borrow that vacuum plug there?
Create one to save one. Huh?
Right.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll finish vacuuming this up, and then we'll see if the engine spins. How does the engine oil look? Oh, here we are. Oh wow.
It's there.
It's like she was changed and parked. There, saving more money. It's like pushing rope in the dark.
Something you know a lot about.
Go ahead and get this battery out of here. This one's been in there for the last 30 years. Don't think she's gonna take a charge. Jeff's got one on the charger now. Getting to the point where we can see if this engine spins, and if it does, we will see if we have a fuel pump, which would be nice. got some crud in there. Alright, it's kind of a pain in the ass to get down to the crank snout bolt thingamajigger. So I'm just going to do the lazy thing and just put a wrench on the alternator, and hopefully I can use the belts and pulleys to roll this thing over. Oh! Spun it a little bit, but she's spinning now, or the pulley's spinning around the belt now. I'm going to put some tension on there and see if I can get it to roll. Well, I got it to roll a little bit, but then the pulley started spinning here. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's turning over.
Perfect. With ease too. Means we don't have a rust ridge anywhere. Oh wow. That is even gooder news.
AC pump's not even locked up.
Wow.
I made a plug for that. Hopefully that works.
I forgot to bring my vacuum plug, so Jeff's been rooting around and Jeffrey rigging a bunch to work. But yeah, this is good. No resistance at all. I mean, as long as we have no fuel issues, this thing is going to pop right off. Oh yeah, and there's also spark. Forgot about that. Oh, a little bit of compression there, that's good. Very nice. Big success. Oh yeah, she's a spinner.
Brand new, only 2 years old.
Alright. Good old never start, like Derek says. Hopefully that's not the case here. Is the key forward yet?
Yeah, let me turn that off.
Yeah, we don't need any arcs and fires happening.
The wind's down.
I'm going to close this case before I knock it on the ground, which I've done a million times. Headlight kicked on.
Yeah?
Headlight motor did.
Lights are off, but they're gonna do that anyway.
Yep. What? Oh, I grabbed the 10. Where'd I put my 8? Uh-oh. Hardly even started on this, I'm losing tools already. Alright, found my wrench. Snug this up and see if we got a bad or worse news on the pump. Alright, give her a tickle.
Got no horn.
Oh, no horn, might as well scrap the thing. Oh.
I'll try the pedal.
Yeah, stomp on her. I think I hear a fuel pump. Oh, it's hard to tell.
Says it's like 15 gallons overfilled.
Yeah.
Like voltage, fasten seatbelt. Nope.
That's not gonna happen. Alright, let's see if we can get this linkage unseized. And then we'll check if we got fuel at the rail. So our issue here is everything is loose except for that side of the shaft. Everything else wants to move except that. So we're gonna play it safe and take this apart, tap on it, get it loose, because we do not want to snap that butterfly shaft in there, because I'm sure that is unobtainium. Okay, so we just got this thing knocked loose. Now we have movement.
Let me spray it again.
Yeah, get some juice on there. Just gonna work this back and forth until it's nice and easy, and then I think we'll try spinning the motor over, throw some gas down the barrels here. Yeah, we'll be back when that's free. Alright, while we're waiting for that throttle body to soak, why don't you go ahead and pop the trunk? Oh yeah.
Nice.
Look at that. Oh, there's the hood. Look at how heavy these things are.
Oh. Shocks don't hold?
Of course not. Wow. More complete.
Bring her down some. That'll be alright.
We got a pillar. I'm curious. Oh, nothing back here. What? It's got the trailer plug to match the receiver. This is neat. I like this.
Yeah, I wish mine had that.
It's got a lock.
Really?
Yeah.
You can hide your not contraband in there.
Yeah, very nice. Very clean, little wrinkly, but just fingering the hind ender there.
Yeah, it's got that pull down.
Oh, the
It's
electric
not working,
shut?
yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, these, when you shut them, it stops, and then like the last inch, the motor in there will pull it down shut.
Dome light works.
Really? Look at that. What a survivor.
It's coming right back to life.
Yeah. If only the fuel pump would come back.
It's right there.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and see if this motor spins with the starter. All these tools out of the way.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. I could
60 pounds of oil pressure.
I could hear the injectors clicking.
Yeah?
Yeah, but no fuel, unfortunately. It's either the injectors clicking or spark arcing, but it sounded like injectors to me, which is great news. Again, that darned fuel pump though. Let's see if we can't collect on a little gas. Squirt her in there and see if she makes a little bit of noise.
Yeah.
Alright.
We lubed it up enough, that's for sure.
Yeah, if the plugs aren't fouled or weren't fouled before, they are now. Well, we forgot to get gas, but we're gonna steal some out of the old Big Red here. I'm sure she won't mind. Jeff installed a brand new petcock this morning.
Well, and it's not leaking.
I'll be. Drink up.
Alright, I'll hit the key. You can work the throttle with the vice grip.
Squirt some in there already.
Just a splash. Oh! No way!
Immediately fired.
Do that again.
30 years and it immediately fired. Alright, go ahead. Wow. Ain't gonna do a lot more than that without fuel pressure. Go ahead.
Try feeding it.
Okay. Okay. I almost lit my face on fire on that one. I don't think that's gonna work.
just give it one more, a couple on each one. We'll burn up what's in there.
All right. Wow. Okay.
That is awesome.
Yeah. That was big success right there. Now we know once we get the fuel pump working, this thing should light off. We got to get that linkage. It doesn't have any spring back yet. It's still a little stiff. But yeah, I am very happy to hear that thing fire off. 30 years. Freaking awesome.
Oh, you got his truck going now.
Oh yeah. Square body neighbor taking her for a spin. Alright, so we're back from the parts store. Been messing around trying to chase down wires to see if we got power to the fuel pump, and we do, and the fuel pump is in fact shot. So we are kind of shit out of luck until tomorrow morning. We can get a new one, but also we have to drop the gas tank, which entails dropping the exhaust and dropping the rear end. It's quite the undertaking, so we're going to try and get this running so we can drive it to the shop where we can have it up on a lift. Right now I have a electric fuel pump that we can run in line and hopefully use that to get it back to the shop. So we're going to tackle that right now. Alright, we got a electric fuel pump ran in line. Got to wire it up to a snap-on battery here. Ran it for a little bit, doesn't sound like there's any fuel in the fuel tank. Went to dump some in and we're locked out. And we don't have a door key. So, awesome. Alright, we got a fuel tank hooked up in the passenger seat because the pickup screen is plugged in the gas tank, so we're gonna have to do it this way just to get it to the shop, because dropping the tank here is just out of the question.
Oh, she's full.
Wonder why that is. That's new to me.
Return line's probably clogged too.
Oh, probably. Weird. Unless those seals in there are just completely rotted out. I don't know. Huh.
Maybe hit the key, see what happens.
We got one squirter going. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Nope, that's not good.
We can't run it like that. We're going to burn this thing to the ground. Well, good morning, guys and ghouls. It is the next day. Yesterday, my camera battery died on us, so we decided to shut her down. Towards the end there, we discovered that the pickup tube and the return line were both completely clogged in the sending unit inside the tank. So we have to run it off of a boat tank to get it back to the shop here, because we're going to go ahead and use the lift here to get that fuel tank out and get that sending unit unplugged. And of course, that said sending unit is unobtainium, so we are hoping for the best that we can just unplug it, blow some air through it, soak it, blow some air through it, soak it, rinse and repeat, blah blah blah. That being said, I'm going to load up a boat tank and electric fuel pump, and hopefully we can get this thing back here today. It's low pressure, but we'll try it just in case. I do have a high pressure. Get out of the way. And I've got a boat tank here. There's already 2-stroke gas in there, so we'll just mix some regular gas in there and lubricate the cylinders while she runs. See you at the gas station. Well, since the Camaro's fuel pump was acting up yesterday, we're gonna take old Reliable here. My friend Lindsay nicknamed her Jenny. I may not be a very smart man, but I sure know what a good truck is. Alright guys and ghouls, we're back at the Pontiac Ranch. Got a game plan here. Got an electric pump in line there running to the TBI, and we're gonna have a fuel tank front passenger seat, and we are going to have to run a return line from the back here and swoop it up back into the can, otherwise it's just going to be dumping out. We had to cut the fuel inlet and the return yesterday because the sending unit is completely plugged. Therefore, when we were pumping fuel in here, it had nowhere to go, so it came shooting out of this little TBI manifold, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to get that set up and we should be able to hear this thing run. Alright, we got our return, ran expertly through here, back up to our tank. Now I think we're ready to hook up our fuel pump here and see if we can't get her to fire. Alright, powering the pump on. Oh. Yeah, we're leaking at the bottom of the filter.
Pretty bad?
Bad enough. Oh, here it is. I think it's sucking air in out of the can.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Yeah. Well, hell yeah, success.
Yes.
She's a runner. No valve train noise. Is it smoking much? No.
Not at all.
Wow. Cool. All right, we're gonna adjust or address the fuel filter issue and add some more gas to it, and we should be able to get this thing going. All right, we got our fuel system figured out. We're gonna try and fire on it. It should run on its own now.
Ready?
Go ahead. Injectors are working pretty good. Got oil pressure?
Yep, 60 pounds of oil pressure. It's charging.
Wow. Oh, service engine light. Bring her back to the junkyard.
Pretty sure it's gonna miss.
Nice. Dual exhaust. What's that?
Pretty sure it's got a miss.
Yeah.
Should I kill that pump?
Yep. Let me turn our key off here. There.
Awesome.
Yeah, successful. We're gonna root around with spark plug wires. Here it's got a pretty bad miss. I'm sure you could hear that on camera, but we'll be back once we figure that out. Alright, we come to the conclusion this whole driver's side bank is misfiring, pretty much completely dead. All the wires run back here and down, and they were resting on the exhaust manifold, so they're all crispy and cooked. So those wires are absolutely shot. I just had it running and I unplugged each wire one at a time, and it didn't change at all until I started unplugging the passenger side bank, and then it actually started running worse. So that's a good way to test where your misfire is. So I was not anticipating replacing spark plug wires today, so I did not bring any. Unfortunately, we're kind of dead in the water without those, because we're not going to try and push it running on 4 cylinders all the way home. So I think we're going to just get it off of these car ramps and kind of get ready for the journey ahead tomorrow. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time today, but before we send off, we're going to see if this thing will actually move under its own power, at least for the first time in 30 years. All right, here we go. Oh, reverse. You gotta drive. Oh, brakes are not very good. It's got some brakes, but they're not very there. Pump the pedal once. Yeah, no brakes, hardly at all. All right, we're gonna back it into the garage here. We're out of gas already. We gotta swap tanks.
Oh man. Yeah, it's flooded. Well, not as quite as far as we wanted to go, but she moved. Hell yeah.
Morning. Back here at the Pontiac Ranch. Today we're gonna get these spark plug wires replaced and see if we can can't get this thing to run better. Had some spark plug wires laying around. let's get these things on. Alright, got new spark plug wires on the driver's side bank. We're going to see if it runs any better. Alright, fuel pump. Oh. Big improvement. Lost the fuel pump. There you go. Might still have some bad spark plug wires somewhere. Running pretty rough yet. Pretty rough yet, so we're gonna have to check some other wires here. Alright, we got a couple more dead wires over here, so we're gonna actually pull it outside where it's a little bit warmer. There's my sunglasses. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and replace all these wires because 2 of them for sure are dead. Got wires replaced. I only had 7, so we reused 1 that we think is good, so we're gonna give her another shot here. Hopefully we have an 8-cylinder, not a 4-cylinder now. Uh-oh.
Even worse.
Go ahead and try it again. This one's dead. Ow! Seven and 5 don't really make a difference. Alright, we might have some bad plugs here. Alright, we're going to pull the cap and rotor off because something's not right here. Alright, we're back much later. We ended up pulling spark plugs 4 and 6. No, 3 and 5, 4 and 6. They were fouled, and then it ran a little bit better, and it still had a pretty bad misfire, so we pulled the rest of them, and we found that it has the original AC Delco plugs in it from '82, and some of the porcelain is cracked on these 3 here. So instead of running to town, we borrowed some from the '77 over there, which is going to be a future revival. Stay tuned. And now we're going to give her a twist on the key and see if we solved the misfire. Good. Well, that's a big improvement. Seems a little rough yet. What's that?
It's still down one.
Yeah. Well, son of a gun. We're gonna have to keep chasing down something. Maybe we just have to get all new plugs. But we'll be back once we do some more diagnostics. Alright. Ended up having two more, or actually one more bad plug. Number 3 was completely fouled. Borrowed another one from the Firebird over there, and we're gonna test her now. Add a little bit of fuel pump, snap-on powered fuel pump. All right, go ahead. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Much better. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, she's happy now. A little bit of surging, but I think she just gotta warm up, clear out all that buildup over the years. Not bad. We're gonna let her get up to temperature, make sure it doesn't overheat, and then I think we'll worry about brakes. See if we can't drive this thing back to the shop, put a fuel pump in it. Well, spark plugs kept falling themselves out, so I had to go to the parts store. Got me some spark plug wires, spark plugs, and I got some more 3/8 fuel line because the line that I did use was not rated for fuel. Weird, no. Alright, back to Jeff's. Alright, we're back. Got wires and plugs. We're gonna go ahead and do this a third time, you know, because we like doing it so much. Got a busted knuckle there. He's got a couple busted knuckles. A few more ain't gonna hurt. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, we got new plugs and wires in. Firing order is correct. We're gonna try it again.
You know.
Yeah. According to our knowledge. Oh. Alright, go ahead. Oh yeah, way smoother. Still a little rough, but after sitting 30 years, you're gonna have that. Alright, we had a vacuum leak. This hose here going up to the map sensor. Hook that up and it's idling high, but it's running very, very smooth. Big improvement. Oh yeah, she's happy now. A little high idle, but we'll look into that. Years back to life, like it was shut off yesterday. I'll let her warm up for a while here, maybe take her for a ride. Okay, so we had a pretty major vacuum leak, and we did the old carb cleaner trick, and we found out that these TBI gaskets were in fact no good. You can see here it's all saturated. We would spray it there and it would idle down, which is a dead giveaway on where your vacuum leak is. And with these being so old, they're very brittle and they probably shrunk. It was letting air in past here and causing a really high idle. So we got some new material. We're gonna have to cut some custom ones because good luck finding these. We're gonna do that, throw them back on and see how she runs. Alright, so we put throttle body gaskets on. Didn't change a damn thing. So rooting around, I unplugged the map sensor and it seemed to idle down, and it idles pretty decent. So there's still a vacuum leak or that map sensor is shot, but I think we're gonna try and put it around the yard a little bit, see if we can't get the brakes to come back around. Alright, she's running pretty good. Brakes are hanging up a little bit.
Still self-clear.
We got a sticky brake, but here we go, we're moving. Whoop. Oh, hardly any brake. I really got to stand on it, but we're gonna putz through the yard here. Yeah, that brake is definitely hanging. I let off the gas and it wants to stop. Sounds like something's dragging her loose. Here's something clunking. What's that clunking? Yeah.
Spin them?
Oh yeah.
Posi.
Oh, posi track. Nice. All right, let's see what she does on the pavement. She actually squawked him a little bit. Oh, geez, something is not happy underneath. Every time I turn, it's a big clunk. Still got good oil pressure. Temp staying good. Just gonna turn around at the corner here. I don't want to go too far. To address what's going on in the front here because I don't want to take her down the road like that. "30 years back on the road." Vitals are all good. Fuel gauge is not working, not a surprise. Yeah, it feels like there's a bad clunk. Like there's a bad ball joint or something clunking around. But other than that, I mean, it's got quite a bit of pep for what it is. think we'll have to put the front end up in the air and see what's going on with the brakes and what that clunking is. Oh, I didn't quite make it to the shop, but I call that a success. Go ahead, do that again. She's running a little rich. Alright guys and ghouls, I think we're going to stop that at part 1. We did put it back on the road, so I do call that a success, but we have to adjust the brakes because it's just too dangerous to drive it back to the shop. So I think next episode we're going to probably end up putting new calipers on it, pads and stuff. Hopefully not do lines because, you know, nobody likes doing lines, but like, subscribe, stay tuned for episode 2 of the 1982 Trans Damn It. Thanks for watching.